This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. The US Navy has released a video of what it called an unsafe interaction in the Taiwan Strait, in which a Chinese warship crossed in front of a US destroyer in a sensitive waterway, a risky incident amid deteriorating Sino-U.S. ties. The encounter comes as both countries trade blame for not holding military talks, with disagreements between the two over everything from trade and Taiwan to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and raises the spectre of future face-offs that could spiral out of control. The US military said the USS Chung-Hoon, a destroyer, and Canada's HSMC Montreal, a frigate, were conducting a routine transit of the strait on Saturday when the Chinese ship caught in front of the US vessel coming within 150 yards. In the video, released by the US Navy late on Sunday, a Chinese warship can clearly be seen sailing across the path of the Chung-Hoon in calm waters. The Chung-Hoon does not change course. A voice can be heard in English, apparently sending a radio message to the Chinese ship, warning against attempts to limit freedom of navigation. Though the exact wording is unclear because of wind noise, the Chinese Defense Ministry did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Monday. The United States scrambled F-16 fighter jets in a supersonic chase of a light aircraft with an unresponsive pilot that violated airspace around Washington, D.C. and later crashed into the mountains of Virginia, officials said. No survivors were found at the crash site. Virginia State Police said the jet fighters created a sonic boom over the U.S. Capitol as they pursued the errant Cessna Citation, officials said, causing consternation among people in the Washington area. 4 people were on board the Cessna, a source familiar with the matter said. A Cessna Citation can carry 7 to 12 passengers. After several hours, first responders reached the crash site but found no one alive, the Virginia State Police said in a statement. The Cessna was registered to Encore Motors of Melbourne, Florida. According to the flight tracking website FlightAware, Encore owner John Rumpel told the Washington Post his daughter, a grandchild, and a nanny were on board. India's official investigation into its deadliest rail crash in over 2 decades began on Monday after preliminary findings pointed to signal failure as the likely cause for a collision that killed at least 275 people and injured 1,200. The disaster struck on Friday when a passenger train hit a stationary freight train, jumped the tracks, and hit another passenger train passing in the opposite direction near the district of Balasore in the eastern state of Odisha. Following non-stop efforts to rescue survivors and clear and repair the track, trains resumed running over that section of the line on Sunday night. Video footage shot on Monday morning by newsmen showed a train passing slowly by the derailed and mangled compartment while the repair work continued at the track side. Some 120 kilometers north at Karangpur in West Bengal State, railway officials and witnesses gathered to submit evidence to a 2-day inquiry led by A.M. Chowdhury, Commissioner of Railway Safety for the Southeastern Cycle. Oil prices rose by more than $1 a barrel on Monday after top crude exporter Saudi Arabia pledged to cut production by a further 1 million barrels per day from July to counter macroeconomic headwinds that have depressed markets. Brent crude futures were up $1.72 or 2.3% at $77.85 a barrel by 9 GMT. After touching a session high of $78.73, US West Texas Intermediate crude climbed $1.72 or 2.4% to $73.46 after hitting an intraday high of $75.06. Both contracts extended gains of more than 2% on Friday after the Saudi Energy Ministry said the kingdom's output would drop to 9 million barrels per day in July from about 10 million barrels per day in May. The cut is Saudi Arabia's biggest in years. The voluntary cut is on top of a broader deal by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries (OPEC) and allies including Russia to limit supply into 2024 as the OPEC Plus producer group seeks to boost flagging oil prices. OPEC Plus pumps about 40% of the world's crude and has cut its output target by a total of 3.66 million BPD, amounting to 3.6% of global demand. A prominent human rights organization has issued an urgent plea for global action to protect Pakistan from extreme heat waves, saying the South Asian country is at the front line of the climate crisis. In a report to mark World Environment Day on Monday, Amnesty International said Pakistanis are particularly vulnerable to heat waves because they lack the means to protect themselves against high temperatures. The report, titled "A Burning Emergency, Extreme Heat and the Right to Health in Pakistan," examined the impact of searing heat waves on people living in some of the world's hottest cities. According to the Global Climate Risk Index, published by the Berlin-based non-profit German Watch, Pakistan is among the 10 countries most harmed by disasters related to climate change in the past 2 decades, despite contributing less than 1% of the world's planet-warming gases. In 2022, more than 1,800 people died and 33 million were affected by catastrophic floods, which submerged almost 1/3 of Pakistan. The deluge was blamed on record rainfall and melting of glaciers, both caused by climate change. That is the size of top accolade global news update. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy New Week!